The following program is brought to you by Cloudcast Media, a podcast leader in developing shows to elevate local brands, local stories, and local storytellers. Cloudcast, bringing ears and minds home.
The San Diego Union Tribune and Retirement Strategies Group present the Union Tribune Community Spotlight Show with your host, Drew Schlossberg.
I'm Drew Schlossberg of the San Diego Union Tribune, and it's always cool when we get some authors on the show. We're getting quite a bit of these days, which is a good thing. It raises my IQ above the room temperature, which is nice over here. So it's good to have Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke on. They are the co-authors of the Two Lila Bennetts. I had the opportunity to moderate a panel with Liz. Lisa was out of town, I think, or at least that's what Liz said. I'm smart to even tell
Don't
Lisa
believe
that.
everything you hear.
Exactly. At the Union Tribune Festival of Books over here. Liz, good seeing you again, and Lisa, nice meeting you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I'll start with you, Liz. How did the Festival of Books go for you?
I thought it was amazing.
Good.
Great turnout. I mean, Liberty Station is such a fun venue, and our panel was super fun. I mean, they were interesting.
Well, you had a great panel. Matter of fact, Matthew's already been on, okay? And so you two are now, and then we're going to have Helen come in next week and chat. So I was fortunate enough to be around some very, very cool cats on this. Talk about this, before we get into the book, the Two Lila Bennetts. How many books have you written together?
I think 7.
Yeah, our seventh is coming out this summer.
It's amazing. So how long have you folks known each other? For a couple of weeks?
I think like 15, 16 days.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or 32 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So 32 years, you were in elementary school when you met, obviously.
Thank you for that.
I wish.
Of course. Where did you meet? In college?
In high school.
High school. What high school?
Vista High in San Diego.
Oh,
North
local.
County.
Okay, Vista High. And then were you grown up in the same hood, or did you just meet at Vista? Didn't meet in middle school or elementary school?
We met in class, and we realized we had a shared love of reading and writing. So we started talking about it way back then. Who were we reading back then?
Danielle Steele.
Sweet Valley High.
Sidney Sheldon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now that's right. Now you're talking my era over here, or the Babe Ruth story. Actually, is my era in that aspect of it. Did you both decide at Vista we are going to be working together and co-author something?
Oh no, that came many, many years later.
But we did attend college together at Cal Poly Pomona, and that's when we wrote a one-act play together. We had a theater class together. The seed was planted then, but it seemed like something far off and not something actually
the one-act
achievable.
play was a total disaster.
Why?
A word processor ended up on the floor. We had a huge argument. It was terrible.
I found it a couple months ago, actually, the one-act play.
Word processor, wow.
Yeah, but that doesn't date us.
So I want to talk about that, and I think I might have mentioned that to you, Liz, during the panel as well. You obviously have to have a lot of faith in each other and confidence and trust to work together, and that one person's going to pull the weight in all this business. You both probably someday somebody is flying a little higher than the other on that, or am I wrong? Go ahead, Lisa.
No, you're absolutely right. We often remark on how hard it must be to write as one author with it all on your shoulders, because we do have those days where I'm not feeling it, and luckily, if I'm not feeling it, she is. We've never both been not feeling it down in the dumps. So,
thank God.
Yeah, we wouldn't get anything done.
So, and let's talk about, we'll use this as an example here, the Two Lila Bennetts, okay? What's this about, Liz?
It's about a woman, so I don't know if you've seen the movie Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow, came out probably about 2 decades ago. But it's about the idea of your life splitting in two. So Lila Bennett is a woman who makes a decision, and her life splits into two. In one life, she's kidnapped and held captive, and in the other life, she escapes capture, but suddenly someone is dismantling her life secret by secret.
Yeah, the movie sounds familiar in that sense. So was it based on that movie?
It was the inspiration. It was inspiration, the concept.
Right.
It's one of our favorite movies.
Yes, yeah. I'm going to have to go now Netflix it. Now that's a verb, as everything is a verb these days in the 21st century in this aspect of it. So were you folks both language arts majors, writing majors, English majors, mechanical engineering?
Communication majors.
Nice. Beautiful.
And I actually went into TV. I worked in TV for a long time.
What'd you do?
I was a producer for talk shows, most recently Dr. Phil.
Really?
And,
Nice. Up in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paramount Studios.
Right, exactly. And how about you?
I went into pharmaceutical sales, and I worked in that industry for 20 years.
Right. So now are you completely into the writing genre, so to speak, right?
We are.
And that's it. Okay. So you come up, who came up with the name, the Two Lila Bennetts?
I think that was you, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were working, originally it had a different name. It was This Is Your Life, Lila Bennett. And then the Two Lila Bennetts was actually like a collaboration of our editor and agent. The marketing, the internal marketing team at our publisher, it wanted a different title. And so usually what happens with that is it's this huge group email where people are just throwing things out until you narrow it down. And so I'd love to take credit for it, but I'm not even. It was very collaborative at the end.
Well, I imagine it has to be in that aspect of it. So when you decide, okay, we're going to do this book, okay, do you sort of do a storyboard, so to speak, or an outline, and you send it to your agent and they pitch it and say this is what it is, or you're going, I'm going to start writing this doggone thing?
We started writing this doggone thing. And,
interesting.
Yeah, and then about maybe 8 chapters in, we send it to our agent.
Right.
And she gave us some feedback, and then we keep going.
And is that normal? I mean, is that what most people do? Or do they go ahead and only, say, before I start going 8 chapters in here, let me just try a chapter or just an outline?
It depends. It also depends if the book's on contract or not. So, like this book was on contract already to our publisher. So we had kind of floated the general concept, but you have a lot more flexibility. The book's already sold. And then if you're going to know that you're taking the book out to sell, sometimes you might float the idea out to your publisher first to gauge their interest. Right.
We're chatting with Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. They are the co-authors and longtime friends of the Two Lila Bennetts. Book number 7, you said this was?
Yes.
6. This is 6.
6.
Yes. 7 is this summer.
7 is this summer. Okay, we're going to talk about 7 in a few seconds here. So what happens? I mean, I envision you guys, okay, we got dueling computers, I would say typewriters, and that's really dating me, for God's sake. Even though you maybe use a typewriter, I don't know. Are you in front of each other and you're going at it, or you're doing it in different homes? How does that work?
Separate locations.
Someone might die.
Yeah, that's rule
right.
number 1.
That's
we
right.
are nowhere near each other.
It's only going to be one author because the other one here is in a freezer. And, that's it. That is very interesting. So how do you say, I'm doing chapter 1, I'm doing chapters 2 through 4, I'm doing 5 through 7. How does it work?
So basically what we do is we, let's say I'll write chapter 1, I'll send it to her, she edits it and sends it back to me.
Right.
We'll flip it back and forth till it's clean, and then she starts chapter 2, and we just do that process. In the Two Lila Bennetts, because it has a dual narrative, what we did is actually made sure we switched narratives every time. So I would start a chapter in one narrative, and then the next time I started the chapter in the second narrative, just to kind of make sure we were both fully invested in both narratives the entire book.
Right, but how long would you start to say, I mean, obviously you're just not going, this is a great idea, I love sliding doors, let's get started tomorrow. Or maybe you do that. Or how long do you talk it out first?
We don't spend a whole lot of time talking it out. We just jump right in. We always write between January and May.
Really?
Yes.
And why don't you write between June and December?
Because our books tend to come out in July, and so we're doing a lot of editing around the book that's coming out and promotion around the book that's coming out. So then we have to take time off after that. And so this is our quote-unquote time-off time.
Right.
So you turn in the book about a year before it comes out. So if we want a July release, we really need to be even if the book's on contract, we need to be turning in the book to the publisher by June.
Right.
So just, we write from January to May, and then we usually go on book tour. I mean, we were in book tour almost the entire month of July. And then the day we got back, we got the edits for the book coming out in 2020, developmental edits. So it's kind of like we kind of have a schedule.
Right. Now, do you work with all different types of publishers, or do you have a favorite publisher you work with?
Right now we're with Lake Union Publishing and Amazon Publishing, and we love it.
Right.
It's great.
Exactly, but let's say Random House wants to come, or Drew Schlossberg and Associates, and if you ever go to me, then we're going to go get you both checked into some mental facility. I mean, what if a huge publishing house comes to you?
Our first 3 books we published was Simon & Schuster, with Atria Books. So, right. Amazon Publishing is great. I mean, they have several traditional imprints, and Lake Union is their book club imprint who we're with, and they just have like a little bit different business model that really fits our needs. But we're always open to anything. But we've been really happy with them. They've treated us really well. Right.
So we got about a minute and a half before we go to break over here. So are you allowed to say what the name of your next book is?
Sure.
And what is it?
How to Save a Life.
How to Save a Life. Okay. So you stopped writing that in May. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And all right. So and that's going to come out next
July.
July. Okay. What is it about?
It's about a man whose love interest, he gets reunited with a love interest from 10 years prior. And they go out on a date, and she dies. And he wakes up the next morning and realizes it's the same day. And
like a Groundhog Day type of thing?
Groundhog's Day.
Was that the inspiration?
Yes.
I love how he got sliding doors, got Groundhog Day. Okay. Can I throw my favorite movie in and maybe you guys can write a book on it? Okay, very good. We'll get to that at break so our listeners don't get sick and hang up on us over here in that aspect of it. So whose idea was this to come up with
It was a collaboration. We were on vacation actually last November, and I
together.
Yes.
Yeah, with our husbands, and I had just read the 7.5 Lives of Evelyn Hardcastle, which is an interest. It's a similar concept, and we kind of worked backwards from that. It was inspirational. Right.
So when we come back from break, I want to talk more about the new book coming up, and then advice you have for folks. I mean, I think everybody romanticizes, I want to be an author, and a successful one. Congratulations, you guys obviously are. You enjoy yours. I can't imagine anything better to work with someone that you're close with and friends with, even though I'm sure you have some tough times in that. And then, again, where we can support your efforts, and we'll shout out your website and all that business. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
And we're going to be right back with Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. They are the co-authors of the Two Lila Bennetts, book number 6, book number 7, coming up next year. I'm Drew Schlossberg. And you're listening to another edition of the Community Spotlight Show here on Cloudcast Media Radio. We're brought to you by the Retirement Strategies Group. Retirement made simple, folks.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.
Welcome to Cloudcast 180. We're here live with Karen Terra, and we've got 3 minutes. Karen, welcome to Cloudcast 180, CEO of Emilio Norris Foundation. Karen, let's get right into it. Can you tell our audience all about the Norris family and how E&F started?
Well, it started with a little boy, Emilio Norris, who was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 3 and sadly passed away shortly before his 6th birthday. And in the time that he was sick and battling his disease in the hospital, his parents, Diane and Richard, noticed that there were families who were not able to get to their cancer treatments because they didn't have a car, or the primary parent who worked took the car to work, so they didn't have access to transportation. So they wanted to do something about it, and they started the Emilio Norris Foundation 15 years ago.
So after 15 years, they turned this tremendous loss into a tremendous amount of love for young people here in San Diego suffering from cancer. So just out of curiosity, how many kids actually miss their cancer treatments due to transportation issues?
Over 3,000 children in Southern California miss their cancer treatments because of lack of transportation. In the last 15 years, since we've been providing Ride with Emilio, we have eliminated that problem. Children are no longer missing their cancer treatments in San Diego and Orange County because of lack of transportation.
You've eliminated the problem. That's the goal of every nonprofit organization. That's incredible.
Yes, we serve every child who needs a ride to their cancer treatment. We serve them. We are able to say with confidence that there is no child in San Diego County who is missing his cancer treatment.
Now, you have something really special coming up, I understand. 1 million miles you've driven.
Yes, that will happen early next year in February. We're really excited about that. That's pretty significant. So in the 15 years that we've been in operation, we will have traveled 1 million miles driving children to and from their chemo treatments, their cancer treatments, whatever they need for us to ensure that they will get to their treatments on time every time.
I mean, that's an incredible accomplishment. How do folks get involved with E&F?
And then tell us what's next.
Well, they can come to our website at enfhope.org and find all the information about all of our programs there. And as we mentioned, in February, we're going to be launching our 1 millionth mile campaign. And it's going to be a month-long campaign in March. And